Hello and welcome back to NoBS. Today we return to talking about another once great animated cartoon show called The Simpsons. You see, The Simpsons was the original cartoon family comedy show, the original one that really blew up on Fox many years ago. It inspired other great shows like Family Guy, South Park, maybe even Rick and Morty and other more modern cartoons and animated satires. But recently The Simpsons have certainly fallen off. They're in their 30th or 40th season. They've had hundreds of episodes. They've lost the plot and basically are what some people call the zombie Simpsons now. They're kind of just a living dead monster that just strokes along, just kind of slowly trucks along, adds some episodes each year. Of course, they're still on schedule, but overall, they're very much not what they used to be. They're not as fun, not as entertaining, and certainly more woke than ever. That's what we want to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about how they went anti-Trump in a recent episode, and they did it in a very silly way on a very inappropriate day, if you ask me. Now, I'm not going to tell them how to run their show. I'm not against people goofing on Trump either, but this is not really a good joke. It's not really a joke at all. In fact, they list out some lies and disproven myths about Trump that get very, very uncomfortable when you see that they're taking it seriously. So we're going to get to those specifics soon, but essentially what happened was last week on the Simpsons episode, they were supposed to have this Halloween special, which did happen, but their introduction to that went full anti-Trump, and it kind of almost ruined the whole thing. They did this in the intro. They said, oh, what if Trump wins? And they had this scene with Homer voting and all this stuff, and it came off really awkward. And like I said, they list off all these reasons that make no sense, and to me, it just kind of tarnishes their Halloween special, which used to be something really awesome that the Simpsons did every year. That was the one episode a lot of people look forward to, but now they've ruined it just like they've ruined everything else. So we're going to get to that soon, talk about the details, go over an article and all that stuff. But first, let's take a quick moment to check out our sponsor. A new survey reports an overwhelming 85% of Americans believe that at least one tech company is spying on them through the apps on their smartphones. 2/3 of those asked claim they've seen an ad for a product they've talked about, but never searched for online. This is exactly why I myself use a product like Virtual Shield. Virtual Shield prevents advertisers, corporations, and my ISP from keeping tabs on me while I'm at home. It's a VPN that was built from the ground up for privacy and protection, and it's the only one that I trust. Yes, a good VPN allows you to hide your location online. It also prevents advertisers from creating profiles to track you, and it allows you to surf the web anonymously, all while being affordable and easy to use too. Virtual Shield does all of these things and more, and now you could get Virtual Shield for 50% off by going to my exclusive link at virtualshield.com/NoBS. And this Black Friday, they're having a special too, so get in quick because those deals won't last for long. Plus, for today only, you can get 50% off of all of Virtual Shield's premium add-ons, including Protection Plus, Residential Access, and their VIP Performance Plan too. Invest in your privacy because I highly recommend it. That's why I say you should get Virtual Shield today. Thanks for your time, and now back to the show. Great, now that that's out of the way, let's check out this Simpsons article. Here it is from Variety. It says, Simpsons lists 50 reasons why re-electing Trump is terrifying in exclusive Treehouse of Horror clip. So we'll get to those reasons. They actually list them out here at the bottom, and you'll see how silly they are. But to set up the scene, to set up the premise, essentially it starts off with people voting. They make a few voting jokes. They talk about how there's old people at the voting place working the polls. They talk about how Homer here, Mr. Simpson himself, he's kind of being lazy. He doesn't want to go vote. They're trying to talk him into it, and they're trying to act like, oh, if he doesn't vote and Trump wins again, the world's going to end. And they kind of try to use that as this creepy premise to set up the Halloween episode, but that just seems forced. That just seems awkward. The country has not been ruined. We've been doing great and really awesome in some areas, actually. And then the worst part is they go off and list this whole thing that just kind of scrolls over Homer as he looks at the screen, and it's just a bunch of lies and BS. So let's go ahead and move forward, and then we'll get to those lists and talk about them each individually. There's nothing scarier than a 2020 election, which makes it the perfect opener for the year's edition of The Simpsons Halloween-themed Treehouse of Horror. Variety has an exclusive first look at the 31st installment, which opens on Election Day 2020. Marge calls Homer to remind him to vote, and he gets to the polling station just in time, where he seems decided in just about every position, including Amazon Alexa for governor, except for the presidential race. So before we even move forward, I mean, this does not seem like the perfect opener to me. Like I was saying, they should just stick with focusing on Halloween, talk about something creepy, talk talk about something else unrelated. I don't know why elections have to be thrown in here and why they have to get political and why they have to be so woke. The worst part is we've seen this before. We've covered a few other Simpsons episodes last year, and they've had these anti-Trump ones that came off really cringy and just super anti-Trump, making fun of him like too much, like just kind of too biased and not funny. It's not like a good version. Like we've talked about how there can be good jokes and good goofs. South Park guys have done it funny way a lot of times, but the Simpsons just come off as if they're liberals making fun of Trump because they don't like Republicans. It doesn't come off as, oh, we're a comedy show that makes fun of everyone. I think that's a similar thing that's happened with Saturday Night Live. Saturday Night Live used to be a great commentary too, and they used to goof on everyone, but recently they only goof on Republicans. They do these joke versions of Democrats, but they always make them look good. They never make fun of, like, say, when they had a person playing Hillary Clinton, they had someone playing Biden and Harris and these other top Democrats right now, and they don't really mess with them. They don't really say anything negative about them. They won't even do a funny accent or whatever it may be. But when it comes to goofing on a Trump, it's like all out, totally over the top, totally biased and negative against him. They do the same kinds of thing with other conservatives. It's just a very distasteful way. And that's how the Simpsons have been. The other thing that I think of with the Simpsons is when they had an episode with the Squad. They had AOC, Ilhan Omar, and all those Squad members on there, and they tried to make them look good. They didn't goof on them at all. They just made Simpsons versions with no jokes about them whatsoever, no negative thoughts about Democrats. They just act like they're so perfect, which is ridiculous because the worst part is there's just so much stuff you could parody about the Democrats. They're beyond parody. I mean, there's so many things you could joke on. That's why you really have to tune to a show like South Park if you actually want to hear honest, level-headed, unbiased commentary on both sides. And they're happy to goof on the crazy PC culture and the liberal stuff. They have PC Principal as a character and Strong Woman as a character, and they make fun of everything. But Simpsons, they don't. They're not on the same page anymore. That's when a flummoxed Lisa can't believe that after everything that has happened the past 4 years, her father is still undecided. To be fair, when asked to remember what's happened since 2016, Homer can only picture one headline: Faye Dunaway gives Oscar to wrong movie and is never seen again. A helpful scroll then lists just a fraction of some of the things that Donald Trump has done that makes him unfit for president, and the list misses plenty, such as the millions of dollars his businesses have charged the Secret Service, or the 280 days of golf that has cost taxpayers an estimated $141 million. Okay, this is insane. This is totally biased article from Variety. They're talking about how this list needs more things when really it's a bunch of fake stuff that they have to make up. That's just not even true. I can already see the fake ones right there. I don't even know if we can list through all of them, but yeah, it's just crazy that they think there's more. This Variety thing's so biased. It's showing that they're cheering on the Simpsons, which are really biased, and they're also almost acting like the Simpsons didn't do enough when actually they went way, way too far. So the first things we could say, I'm going to have to scroll past a few because here's the first one. Made it okay to shoot hibernating bears, put children in cages, called Mexicans the R word. So that is totally false. He did not call them that. He said sometimes bad people like R words come across the border and sneak in, and that's true, but it's not like he called all Mexicans evil people or bad offenders of bad crimes. That's not true, but technically there is some truth to a certain crime. I mean, crossing the border illegally does make them all criminals. All these people crossing the border are criminals, but to say that Trump said they're all the R word, say that they're all forcing themselves on people, that's just not true. That's just fake news that the Simpsons is going along with happily. They're just throwing that in there. As for the hibernating bears thing, I'm not really sure about that. I'm not sure that's really a deal breaker for people either. Bears are beautiful, majestic animals, sure, but they're also very dangerous, and they also can need to be pushed back and kept away from society. They like attack my neighbors sometimes. We see them in neighborhoods around here, and they go after trash cans and stuff. They could be dangerous, but that's besides the point. That's just a silly introduction. We've already got a lie in like the first three. The next one said put children in cages. Those cages were made by Obama. Obama set up that rule. That's a process that was set up before Trump was even in office. But then all of a sudden he's president, and like day 1 or 2, they blame him for everything Obama set up, like the cages, which is just totally crazy. And it shows you how bad this is going. This list is already looking really bad. So he called third world countries blank holes. I mean, some third world countries aren't very nice. I don't know what you want us to say there. I don't think that's a lie. I think it could be seen as insensitive. It's a little over the top, but do you really think that places like Uganda are nice to live in? I mean, are you really trying to move to a place like Ecuador or whichever? I mean, I don't even know. Some of those those places might be all right, but I've heard bad things about Panama. There's a reason they're all trying to flee those countries and come here. It's not because they're amazing places. He called Tim Cook Tim Apple. That's just some kind of nickname, I think. I don't see any issue with that. He said Jewish people who vote Democrat are disloyal. I mean, Democrats do hate Jewish people. They're against Israel. They attack Jewish people like they do in New York City. They're trying to take their rights away. It is a little incongruent to support a party who hates you. I've seen Democrats literally say they want to get rid of Israel and blow it up off the map, and that's pretty extreme, and I wouldn't be able to support that if I was Jewish. I mean, I don't support that, and I'm not Jewish. So it says here he showed top secret documents at a restaurant. If you say so, I mean, you have a bad track record so far. And the next one is really bad. This is the fine people hoax. This is a hoax. This never happened. He never called these people fine people. There's a quote there. We could go to the video where Trump says that he condemns all these bad supremacists and all these 1940s Germans and all this other stuff. He condemns them over and over, but for some reason this lie keeps getting spread around. It's insane. And it's crazy that this is on a Simpsons show. They're spreading lies and propaganda. He asked the president of Ukraine to investigate the Bidens. Why is this a bad thing? We have proof that the Bidens are corrupt. He called for China to investigate. I mean, this is the president's job. He should investigate people that are criminals. I know there's a little bit of a gray area since he's running against the Bidens, but asking someone if their Bidens are corrupt on a phone is what got Trump impeached. Now, many months later, and we have proof of the corruption. Joe Biden's son got a job in the Ukraine because of him being vice president. He got millions of dollars from Russia and China. I mean, it's not that bad of a thing. I don't know why this is even a negative. This says he walked into the dressing room at a Teen USA pageant. Well, that's a pageant that he worked on, that he had permission to be at. It wasn't like he was trying to walk in on naked people. That's what they're implying. It's like, no, these dressing rooms are where the people wait before they go on stage. They're all fully dressed. They could be just putting on makeup or changing a hat or something. This is just all lies and half truths. This says talked about grabbing something. This is him talking about having romantic relations with women. This is women that want to have romantic relations with him, but it's being framed up as if it's bad, as if it's wrong, as if it's like something illegal when it's not. It's just a really bad look for the Simpsons here. These are getting worse and worse. Refused to release his tax returns. Who cares? Gutted the EPA. Confiscated interpreter's notes after meeting with Putin. Just implying he did something wrong with Putin, even though they investigated the Russia collusion for years and found nothing. I mean, this is just a whole nothing burger. They're implying all these bad things. They're using these hoaxes. I mean, it gets worse. We can't even go through each and every one, and we'll have to make another video on it. But the point is, this is the Simpsons show. They're posting all these half lies. These all scrolled over the screen, albeit it scrolled over pretty quick. And I watched the rest of that episode. The rest of the episode isn't really much to do with politics. It looks like they might have some mention of it during this Russian doll parody, but in general they switch over to a Toy Story parody, a Spider-Verse parody, and then some other stuff. And this is just a bad intro, but I think it's worth noting. I think it's worth pointing out all these lies that they're pushing, all this crap once the third term. That's just a over the top joke that he makes to kind of scare Democrats, which it's working. It says he invaded Portland, whatever that means. I think that's when he tried to stop that crazy Democratic unrest, those crazy Antifa and BLM tearing the city apart. But hey, let's not have law and order. Let's go and let everything go crazy like how the Simpsons want. That about wraps things up. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you comment your thoughts on everything below. Subscribe if you're new, hit the bell for notifications, and hit the like button if you enjoyed what you saw too. Until next time, have a great day.